Nigerian humanitarian sector has evolved over the years. We are at Niha 2019, the interactive humanitarian action honorary dinner. Come with me as I take you through the journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome all of you to the prestigious hall of the Nikon Luxury Hotel here in Abuja, where we are playing host to the acclaimed opinion shapers and drivers of change in the humanitarian community of Nigeria. This maiden edition of the Honorary Interactive Dinner, organized by the Democracy Stakeholders Group and the Nigerian Humanitarian Action, actually has attracted participation from the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory because of the growing humanitarian concerns of Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, and the obvious need for synergy and collaboration between state and non-state actors in policy thinking, governance planning, and execution of humanitarian activities in the country. Till date, it appears to be that non-governmental organizations are crisis entrepreneurs whose input is called for, valued, and celebration only when disaster hits Nigeria. Disasters from blood to flood to abuse to disease to youth restiveness has seen non-governmental organizations like the ones you heard rise to the challenge. The issue does not lie in government's unwillingness to collaborate, but in finding the connecting link between NGOs with capacity and government intentions and framework. Today, that prayer has been answered in this noble initiative of the Nigerian Humanitarian Action with the acronym Niha. So to all who weathered the storm, to all who weathered the distance, I want to congratulate you because you just made history here in this maiden edition. So I want to say thank you very much for showing this depth of concern towards humanitarian issues and activities in Nigeria, to come from the north side, south side, east side, and west side to the central side here on the cause of humanity. It is a loaded night, but our motto, like I said earlier, is speed and comfort. So I want you to sit tight as we'll make your sacrifice worth it.
Good evening, galaxy of beautiful people. It's an interactive section, a dinner. So I am standing in for my principal, the one and the only, Prince Tony Momo. Well, I want to uphold established protocol. All of us here today, I say good evening and welcome to this event. Prince Tony Momo, as all of us know, is a foremost nationalist, accomplished journalist and lawyer, and an elder statesman who continues to contribute to growing this nation in many more ways than we can enumerate here. Little wonder that is always available to give his support to worthy causes, including the initiative that has made us to gather here this evening. I welcome you all. The saying that to change a nation, you must first of all change the people remains tenable. On this premise, I would like to commend NDSG, that's National Democracy Stakeholders Group, for organizing this Humanitarian Action Interactive Dinner. I'd like to see more of young people also think creatively about the way forward for our beloved nation, Nigeria. We should say congratulations to this organizer of this event. And I should urge all to support this event and similar ones that are coming from this table tomorrow, next year, and in future, because it's the right step in the right direction. I want to thank you all for listening, and I say please enjoy yourselves. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We'll move straight to the next item, which is the Niha Vision Overview, and that is going to be taken by the convener.
Mr. Chairman, Prince Tony Momo, duly represented here. the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and of course, the distinguished guest of honor, SGF, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, all duly represented. I stand on all existing protocol. I want to welcome all our dear delegates from all over Nigeria. Today is indeed, for us in the NDSG, a dream come true. Within a very short space of time, this vision was birthed when the President made the executive proclamation when he created the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. We believe that for us in this sector, it's been a long time coming, and for almost 60 years of our national independence, there's not been a ministry that is dedicated to coordinate or mobilize this unique sector that is very dear to our country and the growth of our country. I stand here today to appreciate all of you that have traveled thousands of kilometers to come here, and I hope and pray that after this occasion, God will take you back safely. I am here to expose you to the vision of Niha as bettered by the NDSG. The dynamic and ever-increasing demand to meet the humanitarian concerns and develop the social enterprise sector in contemporary Nigeria calls for more coordinated, innovative, and pragmatic effort by stakeholders to help create opportunity and meet the ever-changing sector-specific demand. Over the years, the need to articulate and set up mechanisms to facilitate the achievement of the sector goals and priorities have become a key development and a key development agenda. In the past, the United Nations member states have identified the need for adequate support and building of capacity for institutions and individuals in the social enterprise and humanitarian sector for the implementation of a technical support requirement for various international charters, conventions, as it relates to the sector itself. However, without adequate capacity and mechanism for implementation of global initiative and support, it will be impossible to achieve these targets. Nigerian Humanitarian Action is the principal interface organization for state and non-state actors, an institution which is mandated to facilitate, organize, advocate, and coordinate social enterprise and humanitarian assistance within Nigeria as a whole, in order to improve and strengthen government and non-governmental intervention in the sector. The institution as an interface instrument for state and non-state actors is poised to drive sector-specific programs in line with international social enterprise and humanitarian principles, conventions, treaties, protocols, by ensuring their proper implementation across board. In view of its broad-based approach, the organization will represent the country's stakeholders in national, regional, and international humanitarian and social enterprise fora, while also proffering solutions to the humanitarian and other challenges affecting the nation. The vision of Niha: to save life, build institutional capacity, and ensure stakeholders' hope through humanitarian and social enterprise intervention. The mission of Niha: to facilitate policies, provide tools and approaches, and coordinate social enterprise and humanitarian assistance in a manner that prioritizes the saving of lives, restoring dignity, and sustaining hope for a people in general and vulnerable group in particular. Our strategic goal and mandate: setting agenda for social enterprise, humanitarian sector reform, effectiveness in response to shifting global landscape, new global framework, increased capacity for state and non-state actors in Nigeria, profile highly proficient mechanism for preventing, mitigating, responding, recovering, rescuing, monitoring, and timely acting positively in order to promote humanitarian awareness culture within the sector-specific framework. Aims and objectives. The key objective of the Nigerian Humanitarian Action, Niha, can be summarized as follows: to facilitate and coordinate funding policy instruments aimed at supporting humanitarian activities, national emergencies, and social enterprise. Facilitate networking, information, and data gathering and management with the goal to disseminate such data within the social sector and with external agencies. To collaborate and partner in implementing most social enterprise and humanitarian initiatives by state and non-state actors by ensuring effectiveness of operations. To research, develop, monitor, evaluate national policy framework for the effective delivery of social services. To prepare and plan long-term effective measure and mechanism for prevention, reduction, quick response to social and humanitarian front lines that occur in the country. Advocate for global responsibility for humanitarian concerns in Nigeria in line with the mandate of Niha promoters, Save the Future of the African Child, also known as MS. To appropriate institutions and individuals that have impacted on the humanitarian sector over time. To manage the humanitarian shared opportunity, HUSHOP, a web mobile application database and directory mechanism for all stakeholders. To manage and publish the Niha report on print and electronic, Niha journal, blogs, and Niha TV. Our strategic focus: work with stakeholders to deliver on national and international development goals, operate municipal, state, national, and international offices for effective service delivery. To mobilize and organize community, state, and national non-governmental organizations to lead in the prevention and quick response to emergency disaster situations. To formulate national policies and strategies concerning social enterprise. To lead on social prevention by ensuring the most vulnerable receive dependable assistance. Our administrative structures are built around state, municipal, and of course the national level. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to put this vision before you, and it's a clarion call for the NDSG that will believe that the innate and transformative value that this vision offers to Nigeria is something that everyone should partner with. That's why on this note, I want to appreciate our admins. Within a very short time, in 2 weeks, we have mobilized Nigerian cross-board to be here. From Bonu to Delta to Lagos to Calabar to Benue, we are all here in unity and for the purpose of a better Nigeria. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Mr. Clescent Ako,
Thank you very much.
you are the convener of Niha 2019. How has the journey been so far, seeing there is a maiden edition?
Well, for me, it's excitement all the way. There's always a starting point in everything in life, and for us, it's a very good starting point. As you can witness, we have collaborations and participation from all over Nigeria. If this is the first edition and you have this much participation and collaboration, then it tells you that whatever we're going to do moving forward is going to be really big. It's a big start for us. We're excited. I can't share my excitement, but I can tell you that it's all in the air. Everybody's excited and happy. Yeah.
So are we expecting this like an annual event?
Yeah, it's an annual event. And going beyond that, it's become an institution here today. Shortly, we're going to be adopting Niha as an organization moving forward. So Niha has come to stay, and of course, the dinner will be our flagship event that will always end the year. So we'll be looking up to 2020 Niha second dinner, interactive dinner, of course. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for it.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a very, very crucial aspect of this interface here tonight. Like I said in my introduction, today it looks as if NGOs, CBOs, and FBOs are crisis entrepreneurs. They are only recognized when disaster hits. But the actual issue underneath is that it is not that the federal government does not recognize or want to partner, but there is no coordinating platform that will synergize the capacity of the NGOs and the intentions and policy frameworks of the Nigerian government. But with the birth of this ministry, the Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, we have seen an opportunity for collaborative effort so that we can synergize state and non-state actors towards humanitarian cause in Nigeria. That's why we're here tonight. And we have been able to pen down 6 very, very cogent ideas that you have put forth as far as how we can run the humanitarian community of Nigeria in synergy with the government is concerned. And I'm going to be reading it out here this evening as a resolution. And we say this is a draft resolution in the sense that these 6 items are not sacrosanct in themselves. So ladies and gentlemen, we go. In the maiden interface dinner of stakeholders from the Nigerian humanitarian community under the auspices of Niha, held on Thursday, 12th December 2019 at Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja, it was resolved as follows. Number 1, that the government of Nigeria at all levels strengthen linkages with non-state humanitarian actors and factor their inputs into policy formulation and execution. What are we saying here? Government don't recognize the NGOs only when crisis hit. Recognize them even in governance planning, even in governance policy thinking. Recognize them and factor them, because I believe that the humanitarian community has a lot to offer that will make a rich policy for Nigeria. That's the first resolution. And I want to see, does that go down well with you? Hello, House. Are we in agreement that the government of Nigeria at all levels, federal, state, and local governments, should strengthen their linkages with NGOs, CBOs, and FBOs? Hello, do we agree to that? Yes. Okay, so that their inputs can be felt in policy formulation and execution. Okay, number 2 here states that a humanitarian roundtable will put in place with representatives across the state and geopolitical zones for the purpose of integration. That word is integration, not interrogation. Please correct it. For the purpose of integration, coordination, and efficiency in humanitarian activities. In other words, from this place here, we'll be able to get NGOs, state actors. Thank God a number of them are here today. We're going to get them, and we'll see how we can collapse this particular platform into sectorial basis of local, state, and national, with representations from all of the states, such that anytime the Nigerian government calls, we can have representation from the 6 geopolitical zones, representation from all of the states who will come with need assessments, with policy frameworks from the geopolitical zone as far as the needs, humanitarian needs of that area is concerned, so that by the time we interact with government, we can have a robust interaction. That's what that second one is saying, that humanitarian roundtable be put in place. It's like a technical committee with representation across the states and geopolitical zones for the purpose of integration, coordination, and efficiency in humanitarian activities. So that will leave states with responsibilities to go back and be able to pick individuals and NGOs and people with capacity to put them forward so that they can be part of that technical committee. Do we agree that a humanitarian roundtable should be set up with representation across Nigeria? Yes. Hello, do we agree to that? Yes. Thank you very much. That resolution passes. Number 3, that the current humanitarian policy and responses in Nigeria be reviewed periodically in line with emerging trends. Society is dynamic. Nothing is static. So as we move, things change. So do we agree that once this technical committee is set up, we will work hand in hand with the government to review the current humanitarian responses and framework of Nigeria for efficiency? Do we agree to that? Yes. Okay. Then the 4th one is that Niha, we want to make Niha a very robust body that covers all of the states of Nigeria and local governments with effective representation of people with capacity, not NGOs that have names only but not on ground. Do we agree that Niha, in all of this robust framework, be adopted as liaison and coordinating body of non-state humanitarian activities and the government of Nigeria? Do we agree to that? Yes. Thank you very much. Number 5, that the interest of all member bodies of Niha be safeguarded by an independent constitution as shall be drawn by Niha representatives from across the country. Meaning, we are going to draw representatives from the 6 geopolitical zone into a think tank that will be able to write a constitution. State actors are going to be present, and you non-state actors are going to be present, so that we can arrive at a constitution that will safeguard the activities of Niha. You know, anywhere principles are on ground, emotions are suspended. We work by principles instead of working by emotions. Do we agree to that? I know here now. Do we agree to that? Okay, that's number 5. That the interest of all member bodies of Niha be safeguarded by an independent constitution as shall be drawn. It is not drawn yet. You are the ones that will draw it in collaboration with the government, and then it is binding. Meaning that we are still going to have a humanitarian assembly in the course of the year 2020, where we'll bring all of you together in an expanded format to liaise with the government, and then we can have a humanitarian assembly where this constitution, perhaps having been drawn, will be read out, and then the House will adopt it. Is that okay? Okay, number 6, that the governing body of trustees be appointed to oversee the activities of Niha, with periodic reports to be presented at the Niha General Assemblies. Do we agree to that? Okay, once you have agreed to these 6 now, you have an opportunity to add 7, to add 8, to add 9, as you feel the pulse of humanitarian responses in Nigeria, either as a state actor present or a non-state actor. All of those things will be collated, and once it is finished, maybe tonight, we'll read out the additions before you go. Ladies and gentlemen, so to that effect, if this encapsulates it, please, we'll give you time now to write all of the additions you need to write. We will not adopt now until you feel your pulse included in it. Is that okay? If we adopt now, it will be stampeding the ideas that some people have in mind that could actually move this very, very great organization forward. So we'll give you time to pen down your thoughts in what has been given to you so that it can also be included or encapsulated in it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for enabling that action to happen very, very quickly.
So it's a maiden edition of the Nigerian Humanitarian Action Honorary Interactive Dinner. How has it been?
It's really emotional for me to be here. It's my first time participating to this, and even the first time of my organization. It's a pleasure, of course. We are really excited, and it was amazing just to link up with people, to partnership with people. I mean, I was not expecting to have all this amount of NGOs, of civil society working in the field, and it's something that is really important.
Okay, that's interesting. So have you done some networking? You've been everywhere. I saw you actually. So are you expecting to see more of this next year?
Yeah. I mean, for me, Nigeria is the future. It's a complicated country, but it's really fascinating.
Complicated.
It's complicated. I need to be honest. Yes, it's complicated, but there are a lot of opportunities. People are so much creative, and I can see future everywhere. So I'm here for this.
So what's the NGO about?
We work with vulnerable people. Specifically, we are based in Benin City, and we work with trafficked women. We have activities to prevent migrants to travel to Europe. And yes.
You've been doing so much. I know about work life and all that.
Yeah.
So have you been partnering with other organizations?
Yes, we have been partnering even with some religious association in Benin City. With San Luis, with the Church of San Luis, and we have been working even with some Italian NGOs. We are going to organize an event on February that we call Mater Africa Day, and in Benin, and we are working with the task force of the Edo government.
In order state government.
Yes.
Okay. And but you not fix a day. It's in February. But the day has not.
1st of February, but we are still expecting some answers, so we will eventually make public soon.
So we are looking forward to the event. Yeah. Probably we want to attend.
Yes, it will be a pleasure. It will be amazing.
So you came all the way from Edo for this?
No, I'm actually based in Abuja, but there are some of us that came from other states.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, thank you once again. Niha, it's quite interesting. Over the past 3 months, we've been working very hard with our editorial council, and we believe that one of the ways that the humanitarian activities can be strengthened and our collaboration can be further built elaborately was to document our collective essence. And that's what the Niha journal has done. It's a journal that have exhaustively looked at all areas of our humanitarian approach and have documented those approaches in such a way that for those that we have that journal will really appreciate what Niha has done, because we touched on various areas of interest that are quite particularly educative. The journal was born out of the fact that we have to keep abreast every stakeholders with activities that is happening. It's proposed to be a periodic journal. This is the first. We hope that we are going to be doing it quarterly. So the next edition will be coming up in March, when we intend to have our conference. But today, the journal for this particular edition is in 4 parts. It looks at major state actors that have really contributed to the sector. And it also looked at non-state actors. And it looked at very fundamental issues that are quite challenging when it comes to the humanitarian activities in Nigeria. Like the issues of the Northeast, we documented one article I'll call, it's an overview that can give you exactly what has happened in the Northeast, government approaches to resolving this, approaches from international NGOs, local NGOs to see how the issues of the Northeast can be resolved, contributions from various other partners around the world. We also look at the issue of migration that has become has become a national fault line, and we gave recommendation on how those issues can be addressed. But not, let me leave some of the essences till when you are able to get the journal. For everybody here, we're entitled to one of the journal, and it's going to be going out. But I want to have the privilege and honor to call on Dr. Abbas Waziri to do us the favor of formally presenting the journal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for this honor, thanks for this privilege. Dr. Abbas Waziri, Chairman of Tradomed Pharmaceutical. This assignment, I will hand it over to Pharmacist Charles Henacho. He will do justice to it better. Thank you.
Hello, good evening all. Well, it's always an honor when your boss calls you for an assignment like this. I never expected that, but I think I'm the most privileged person sitting down here in this country. My name is Charles Henacho. I'm a pharmacist. Dr. Abbas Waziri is my chairman. He's my boss, the chairman and founder of Tradomed Pharmaceuticals Limited. I'm the managing director. He appointed me to be that. It's an honor to stand before all of you here this night to make this presentation. I must say that this journal is first of its kind, and it really captures the exact reason why this whole establishment was formed. It's an honor, a privilege to stand here to make the presentation to all of you, and also so I can commence this immediately. Thank you so much.
The Niha journal have been officially presented. Like I said, we're all entitled to copies of this. High quality production. It's something that will interest you. And this, moving forward, would be a landmark and transformative impact to the humanitarian sector. This is the first issue ever, and we hope to sustain it periodically. We're having 3 editions every year. It will be formally shared to everybody around. Thank you.
Thank you for who you are and everything you do in sacrifice for the betterment of your
Thank you. I want to say today is hallmark for Nigeria for recognizing the efforts of NGOs for humanity. And I want to say the creation of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and Development. It's a milestone for humanity in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, please. Give them the containers for the thank you. Congratulations, madam. Keep doing what you do for the cause of humanity. What we award on earth, God rewards from heaven. Congratulations. Represented here. Congratulations. A round of applause for her, please. Please let me call the representative of the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, please to come up and just give a 2 minutes goodwill message to this very noble house on this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, and while the rep of the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation is at it, the World Nations Development Program Initiative, please, you will come next after him. 2 minutes of goodwill message for this noble house. Let's receive T.Y. Danjuma Foundation. World Nations Development Program Initiative, please be on standby. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol duly observed. My name is Ilori Mewa. I'm representing T.Y. Danjuma Foundation. I'm actually representing our CEO, who is unavoidably absent here today. We really appreciate what this organization and the organizer, what they are doing today, because they are providing a platform where all of us, we can work together, both the donors and the implementers. And I think it's a welcome development, so that we can collaborate together, so that we can channel whatever we have to meet the need of the people. It's a good thing, and it's a welcome development. We thank you for recognizing our efforts